Hello again, welcome back to the brew shed. So today I am going to be finishing off the Orbit hops review by actually taste testing that beer and telling you how it got on. Here it is in the bottle. Now as you can see, hopefully, it's cleared really nicely in the bottle, so it's almost crystal clear in the bottle, which is a good sign obviously for the yeast flocking out nicely. In the end, with the recipe that I was using, I did double up the dry hop because it was not really coming across as that full flavoured hop-wise initially when I did the first couple of taste tests with it. Other than that, brewed it pretty much as per the recipe. The yeast performed pretty much as expected. It did have some lager-like characteristics, so that was the Mangrove Jack's California lager yeast that I was using. Some slightly sulphurous smells coming from the FV while it was brewing. Not much of a Krausen, so it did seem to be a bottom fermenting yeast, which you'd expect from a lager yeast, and obviously it's cleared quite well too, which is good. So without further ado, we'll get on to pouring this one out and you can see the results. So I've already opened a couple of these. It's been in the bottle for just over a month now. Although it has cleared really nicely, the yeast does not really stick to the bottle particularly well at all. So you do have to be pretty careful pouring out the last little bit of beer, as you normally would, but particularly with this one it's quite powdery, so if you do let the last few bits go in, and I'm actually going to stop there because you might be able to see there's a little bit of cloudy yeast going through, but otherwise pretty good level of clarity there with that. I have had to leave quite a bit in the bottle there because the yeast is just basically all lifted up off of the bottom, and that would have gone in and made it look like a wheat beer if I'd poured the whole lot through. So yeah, one downside of that California yeast, it doesn't seem to stick to the bottom particularly well at all. That's reasonably well carbonated, nice and clear, so I'll give it a taste test. It's come out quite a nice beer. The aroma is not particularly full on at all. It's a slight sort of floral, maybe citrusy aroma coming from it. The beer is quite has got quite a lot of lager sort of character to it, as you would expect using that yeast and it being quite a light grain bill. Flavour wise, there's a sort of slightly sharp white grape sort of flavour in there, maybe some melon, few more floral notes. There's also a little bit of a noble sort of hop spice there in the background as well. So maybe some of the hops that have gone into that blend have got a little bit of European noble hop heritage maybe. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a lot nicer than I was expecting after the initial tastings that I did, when it didn't really seem to have much flavour coming through at all. I think probably using this hop, I think in a lager or a blonde ale or something like this, probably the sort of use that it's best suited to. It doesn't have a massive upfront flavour like you would want maybe for American pale ales or IPAs, so I think this sort of beer is probably a good use for it actually. With the amount of hopping that's gone in, you'd expect the flavour to be a little bit more dominant from the hops, but it's fairly subtle I think still, so that would probably be the sort of beer that I would stick to using it in. Probably would work well in combination with some other stuff as well. Obviously other New Zealand hops would be a good idea, or some other US or New World hops would probably blend quite nicely with it, but overall better than I expected at first. Not a massive amount of aroma from it, but flavour wise very nice. Works quite well in this sort of crisp, refreshing lager, and would probably use it in similar sort of lighter beers or ales. Okay, so that'll be it for today. I hope that has helped anyone who's thinking of using some Orbit hops in their beers, and cheers. See you later.